pretty much. Welcome to Smash Friday. This is a monotone type of episode.
Oh, this is a monotone type of movie.
Hold on, let me wake up again. Welcome to Smash Writing. This is Paul, this is Justin, and today we're continuing our Edgar Allan Poe theme here.
Why did you choose this theme? I could have had John Carpenter theme one.
I just thought about it first. But last week we did The Raven, and this week we are now doing the new Netflix film.
When you say new, it came out December 2022.
Really?
Yes.
It came out God, I just looked at it back in February. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, one of the latest films from Netflix, the Pale Blue Eyes.
The what eyes?
Pale.
Pale.
Blue.
Pale. Pale.
Pale Blue Eyes. Okay, anyway, I'm back up. That's how I was watching the movie, legitly.
So you take no notes, huh?
Give us.
One day I'm going to show up no notes, and just Paul's going to have to read off all this.
Go for it.
We open up with the silhouette of a man being hung, and we drop to a river. We meet Augustus Landor. Landor?
Yeah.
Landor. He's washing up in a river, and he's been sent by West Point to come and help them with a case they got. They had a body, they thought it was a suicide, but his body had been defiled after death. Someone had cut out his heart. And they want him to investigate what happened and try to save face for West Point, despite the fact that you get an uneasy relationship between the two. So he starts interrogating. He finds the person who had found the body. Said he thought it was suspicious how low the guy was to the ground. His feet were on the ground even. And when he goes back in to recheck the body after the coroner, he finds that it wasn't a hanging, it was more murder than suicide, and someone strangled him. And then a contusion on the back of his head. And this point where he runs into Poe for the first time, I believe. Or Poe gives him a name, tells him if you're looking for a poet, you should be looking for a guy named Stubbard.
Something like that.
And you find out that him and Stubbard had a falling out a while ago. And trying to figure out where I'm at on these notes here. He had fallen into a group called the Bad Bunch.
Creative.
It's what Fry called, the guy who was murdered was called Fry. And that night Stubbard had run into Fry, and he was off to necessary business. And he brings in Poe at this point to actually help him because of how late he was here. And he gives him a note he found in Fry's clenched hands at the corner mist. But, and it was only a little slither of a note, and he asked Poe to help decipher it. And they come to the conclusion after deciphering the letter, it was meet there at X, don't be late. And they both decided it must be a woman, and Poe remembers seeing a woman on campus recently. So they start looking into that, and that's when they find Landor leaves Poe a note to meet him at this ice shack.
Yeah.
And they find that this is where the ceremony taking place. And they go to meet this guy named Pepe, who's a master of rituals. And they tell them that there are
This is actually played by Robert Duvall.
Was that Duvall?
Yep.
But between two witch hunters that killed 1,300 people.
That's not going to go unnoticed.
Yeah. They do God's work. But the one who had the more kills, he'd written a book, but he didn't get it published or anything. And they believed it to be lost, but they know that there's got to be a few copies of it out there. But inside of that book, there's a spell for immortality. And they get the name Marquez, and that leads them to the doctor's son. And the doctor's son has a sister, too. And she's the one who's been seen around campus. And Poe manages to get himself into the son's little meet and greet group, whatever you want to call them.
God.
And there's a bit of tension brewing in that group because everyone in that group seemed to have a problem with Fry too. But you find out his sister is sick, and she's put on a little musical performance, and she's kind of like got everyone's eye, including Poe, who takes her to the cemetery, and she has a seizure, just like at the cemetery. And at the brief little episode, he manages to help her up, and he's taking her back home. And geez, where are we at? That night, Poe is attacked by Ballinger, seeing Poe as a threat because he wants to be with Leia. Landor makes the save. The next day, Ballinger ends up missing. They find him dead with his heart gone. And that's when he finds out that Poe and Fry had an interaction where they came to blows, and Poe threatened to kill him the way he threatened to kill Ballinger for attacking him. So he gets grilled by Landor, but that doesn't really go anywhere. They manage to get themselves invited to dinner with the doctor because that's who they're really suspecting is someone in this doctor's family committed these crimes. And that's when he finds the officer jacket missing the bars that they were looking for on the left shoulder. And that really starts to lead them toward someone in his house. But Stewart has gone missing. All of his clothes is gone now, and he ran. He left town. He ran out. But it ends up happening is that this family, the McCoys, is the godfather, the great-great-grandchildren of the witch hunter. And they had the book for mortality, and they're the ones who've been killing and stealing hearts to try to save the sister who's going to die of these seizures. They kidnap Poe, Landor saves them, but the burning rubble falls and kills the brother and son. They only save the mother. And it looks like it's case closed. Landor goes home. Poe arrives there with him, though, and Poe unravels what really happened. And throughout the movie, you hear about Landor's daughter who'd run away. That isn't what happened now. And why he doesn't like West Point is when she was on her way home, 3 of the people, the Bad Batch, sexually assaulted her on her way home. And she couldn't take it anymore, and she killed herself. So Landor, in his seek of revenge, he killed Fry, who was one of the members of the Bad Batch. But when they came to investigate, because he's the best detective in this area, he learns that someone mutilated the body. So he started planting seeds of doubt that this was satanic. And he's the only killer. They just stole the hearts to do this ritual. But the piece of evidence that would connect him to the crime, Poe destroys and leaves. And it looks like he may have jumped off the same cliff, or he just said goodbye to the memory of her.
He just said goodbye.
I honestly don't know where they'll go with that.
Because his last words are, "You can rest in peace," or something
Yeah.
like that.
Not really, though. You didn't finish the job. Stewart's still alive. Finish the job.
Kill one, kill all.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, first off, this movie was way... You reading the plot, and maybe this is what they seen when they were reading the script, it seemed to be better than what they put on the screen.
Okay. I'm going to say this. The guy they brought in to be Edgar Allan Poe, Harry Billings, looks like Edgar Allan Poe in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, look at his picture from the new movies and then look at Poe. Like, they did a better job at casting a lookalike for Poe. He really gets the drunkenness, he gets the painful, big, creative brain of Poe. I thought they did a really good job in casting Harry to be Poe because he really fit the character. Christian Bale really doesn't do anything wrong. He's great in everything almost.
He's a great actor.
Yeah. You're not going to get a bad performance out of him. This movie's boring.
Well, and not to mention, like, not only is it boring, like, when you read the ritual stuff, it seems like it's a cluster of plot stories.
Yeah.
That they're trying to put together.
Like, they're so delicately putting together a story to try to fool you, but in the end, they big brain themselves, and what they come up with doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because I get it, like, He stumbled onto a convenient way out of his murder. But at the same time, the Marquets are not innocent people either. I don't think they were involved in the Bad Bunch, who assaulted his daughter, because that was Stewart, Ballinger, and Fry. So these two are innocent, but they're not innocent because they were still going to kill Poe at the end of this movie.
That is true. They want to take his heart.
Yes. And it's like, did they steal Ballinger's heart, or did he just make it look like they stole Ballinger's heart?
I think he made it look like.
Because I know he killed the animals to make it look like it was them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he just killed Ballinger and left it for them to find.
No, I think he set it up. He took.
Yeah.
It still was it's too much. They were trying to be smarter than what they were. And I get that this is a 2003 novel. I never read the novel, so I don't know. Did the movie, go away from the source material? But, God, this makes me not want to read the book. Because this was what, 2 hours? And
2:10.
felt like 4:10. Scene after scene.
There were so many shots that seemed unnecessary, like when Leah's playing the piano and Randor's exploring the house. Like they're just focused on Poe like this. It's like, you could cut that. We don't need it. We know Poe's infatuated by Leah. Everyone likes Leah. Everyone loves Leah in this movie. I think the brother's ready to throw down for his love of Leah at this point. And not the platonic love either, the creepy kind of love that Poe had for his cousin in real life. And for some reason, none of these movies want to talk about. I can't imagine why.
Well, just like how you're talking about him having his detective skills. No! He wasn't a detective. He was a writer. That's what he did. I don't know where they come up, in what research, unless they asked his his cousin's.
What did they do?
Shut up.
Ask.
Shut up.
Ask.
But unless they got his real family from his cousin's side of their marriage or something that says, oh no, Poe was actually a detective. He loved solving things. He was just a writer. Just a drunk writer. That's it.
Yeah, I tried to find any information on Google, but I couldn't find anything more than he was the grandfather of detective stories. That's all I could find.
Too. And that he drank.
We all know. Well, allegedly. Don't
Yeah.
even know that anymore.
Don't know. But I don't know. To me, the biggest knock of this film, and you're right, here he has Edgar Allan Poe, was creepy on it.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, I don't think I ever watched a movie where I didn't like him in it. I may have not liked the film, but he might have been the bright spot in the film.
Yeah.
There was just nothing that would kept me engaged in this film,
Yeah.
nothing. And then you start getting into that ritual stuff and putting this supernatural element in there. No.
So how did the coroner miss the note in his hand? How did I get the coroner didn't look too much at the corpse because it looks like a hanging. It's a hanging, so he didn't look further into it. But you noticed a note in his hand at some point.
Once again, I think they put themselves in a situation and they wanted to be smarter than what they were, and it just kind of backfired. Ugh. Sad that
There's just so many things that have to happen by coincidence for this movie to work.
Right. A lot. In the end, what are you giving it?
I didn't write a grade down. We'll call it. Oh no, I did write a grade down. It's a C minus. It's not bad. It's boring. It's really slow. I think if you really like mysteries and detective stories, you might like this.
But even then,
I
it's
didn't
a
like
cluster.
it. Yeah.
I do like detective.
And well,
in this.
we've already blown, the mystery behind it, so you might not enjoy it as much. It happens.
Might save yourself
C minus.
10 minutes. I'm going to give it a D 69. I don't know.
That's why you don't have any friends.
My only friend is you.
I really question that friendship. I'm here for the money.
What, the 35 cents we earn? No, I don't know. Like, honestly, when a film is that boring, I don't even want to say it's an average film. Like, yeah, I finished
Well, I
it.
mean, it's subpar average. It's not a bad movie. It's got
No,
a
I
bad
mean-
twist.
Yeah, the twist. Honestly, the twist would have been fine, but I didn't like the supernatural, the ritual stuff.
Yeah.
Like having the detective solve the case or try to pin it on someone. Like, he could have pinned it on Poe for like some random reason.
Yeah.
That would have been. It probably would have made a B to me because, yeah, giving a twist like, man, now that I'm a father of a daughter and that type of situation happened, I might want revenge too.
Yeah.
That's fine. But then all this, like I said, all the other things have to be coincidence. Then it's boring.
I was saying that would have been a better like heel turn for Lando. Is like halfway through he starts trying to pin it on Poe,
That would have made it more interesting.
and then Poe actually has to like dig down deep, because especially after he had that speech about how he's been like beaten and battered every day since he's been here because of any reason,
Yeah.
and to have someone he looks up to and admires actually turning on him, and he has to be the one to solve this now.
That would be.
That might
more
have been a
interesting.
better way to
Yeah,
go.
it says like, you know, when you talk about boring, I'm okay with like a movie that's just focused on storytelling.
Yeah.
Give me a good storytelling. Said what you just said about how you can switch it up.
I mean, not every movie's Cocaine Bear, but you got to try it.
We'll talk about that another day.
I'll talk about Cocaine Bear every day.
He's calling it the movie of the decade when we're not even done with the decade.
3 years in.
We're only 3 years in. We're not even halfway. But that is our review of The Pale Blue Eyes. Until next time.
Bye-bye.